we are back online. Let's wait for Shark to arrive. Good.
So you're recording?
Yeah. I'm streaming. Alrighty. Howdy, Ari, how are you? How did your I think you had an appointment this week or something. How's this week for you? Yeah, going well, thank you. So Shark and I were having a solve of this puzzle earlier today, my time, but I think probably last night, your time. It's Safe Cracking by Kia, and it's the puzzle that won the Ascot Gold Cup in the Listener series for 2005. Welcome home then. We've done an initial run through of the clues, and I'm trying to remember where we're up to. So, what have we got? So every grid entry is formed by removing all occurrences of a single letter, but there are 12 normal clues. So 12 normal clues which have normal wordplay. Apparently, their first letters form a ring in the grid, and the remaining clues of wordplay gives the entry, so the defined word less whichever letters are removed. But I've just noticed this part here, the first letters in the presented order form a ring in the grid. I may as well actually start highlighting that in the grid itself, because we have identified some of those 12 letters. So let's see if we can work that out. Hi Shark, how are you? I'm dealing with a bit of hay fever and a cold, and whatever's in this teacup is not clearing me out. So 22 across Punster, well, the first letter of that is going to be one of the normal clues. Cell 32, mindset, also a normal clue. Cell 6, vestige, also a normal clue. 26, kimchi is a normal clue. 20, first letter of a normal clue. 12, we haven't got the first letter yet, and 24. Oh, but with that, whose first letters in the presented order form a ring in the grid. I'm not sure all of those would form a ring in the grid. Hi Dean, how are you? Cynical Bear 71. What an inspired username. Before we dive into this one a bit more, So what we're dealing with is clues where every entry is formed by removing all occurrences of a single letter, but there are 12 clues where the defined word is fully incorporated or reflected by the wordplay. The rest of the clues have wordplay that only gives the mutilated form of the entry, so that's without the single letter. So I'm trying to remember where we jumped off at last time. Maybe if we go down to 28, let's find 28 because we have curious pattern there in the words. It's a good pseudonym, dude. 28. So long involved trip found in South Africa almost barren. I almost want it to actually be something that with the extra letter ends RIC or maybe RID. Found in South Africa almost barren. Not sure what the nothing's really jumping out to me there. It's 7 down. Article about closed shop. 5 letters, 2 words. You want article to be and, don't you? So it could be something like that perhaps, or is a vendor word? I don't think it is. Hi Dimitri. I think you've probably solved this puzzle before, haven't you? Mouldering grub. When grub can be food, but can foo be mouldering? If that was the... I don't think it can be. Or ood, maybe. I'm struggling to try and work out what the next way to climb into this grid's going to be. 11 o'clock across looks interesting. Where's that? Here we go. So we have 7 entries in the grid. So which means that there's only 1 letter which is potentially going to be uncluded by the wordplay. And we were thinking... Yeah, I think Cracking the Cryptic definitely has solved this one before. But I think they're just show-offs. I think they do them too quickly. I deliberately refrained from watching their solve of this one because I sort of it's been on my list as a puzzle I should solve for a while. Beg to carry tourist case. Beg is going to be ask. I like that. And we already have the letters there, so ask around tourist case is TT with a line. I mean, that does... Hustle. It's got to be fast talk, doesn't it? Hustle. So maybe we're looking at fast talk without the F. And I would be surprised if it wasn't a word in Chambers. Persuasive, rapid, plausible talk. There we go. I like that. That gives us a little bit more in this. We're trying to. Gives us a little bit more in this northeastern quadrant. So what have we got? A little bit more for 8 down, a little bit more for 7 down, but let's go to 8 down first, I think. Oh, it's the very next one. Cultivation to the point of generation, 7 letters, which means we are missing a single instance of one letter from the grid and potentially from the wordplay. Cultivation to the point of generation. I always want cultivation to be sort of like silage, looking at that. Sort of word tillage is so, isn't it? Tillage is the active practice of tilling. Yeah, tillage, which would mean that till can mean to the point of, and generation is age. So this is going to be one of those normal clues where the entirety of the wordplay is in fact given by the clue. So that's right. Ill age. But maybe that means that what I was doing when I was highlighting all these other letters was incorrect, because so there are 12 clues whose first letters in the presented order form a ring in the grid. I suspect that we're not actually looking, because the entries that we had here so far when I was indicating those before, just before, they don't actually form a ring as they're presented there. So I'm going to just get rid of that highlighting. I'm comfortable doing that because in 8 down, of course, we actually lost the first letter before entry. So I think we're going to need to use these letters to find another ring, maybe not using those exact characters, but the same letters appearing elsewhere in the grid. I'm trying to mute myself every time I need to blow my nose. 17 across looks interesting now. Now this is a clue where we're missing 2 letters from the grid, or 2 instances of the same letter. Because what has a small charge? Scott's miserable metal goods. It could well be something where and I'm wondering whether or not metal goods might actually be the definition. Now that would, and I think a way to test that is way a Scottish word for miserable. It is woe or sorrowful. So that gives us the W-A-E. think it's going to be ironware without the R. That has to be metal goods. Great spot, Dimitri. Thanks for that. There we go. Ion Way. Or Wa. Iron Wa. That gives us something to work on 14. Is that 14 across? No, we're looking for, yeah, 14 down, sorry. And we're missing one letter from a single instance of a letter from the entry dope that's not everyone's puff. Got no idea what they could be. I mean, dope can be some grass or cannabis. It can be word meaning cool. To have the dope on something, I think, can be to have information. It could be somebody who's an idiot, like a twit, maybe. I mean, twit fits. Yeah, twit's a fool. Not everybody's puff. That's not everybody's puff. I mean, what does puff mean in this sense? I mean, to twist or... Breathe out. So look at 7 down. Where's 7 down? Do we have a 7 down? We have a 7 across. There you go, 7 down. A-T-O-N. Thank you. A something, AT something N, that suggests that the article that we're looking for is probably an around something meaning closed. And closed, I think, can be given by 2. I think. Could be wrong about that. Beside, near, for, of, against. In one direction. Here we go. In or into a required or fixed position, contact closed or fastened condition. So I think what we're actually looking at is AN around 2. But what would our shop be then? Shop means to betray, so it's going to be to rat on then. Great spot, Darren. So the missing letter is the R. I mean, that's it's a very neat little clue, but it's devious in 2 ways because, I mean, one wouldn't necessarily jump to 2 for closed and rat on for shop. It's a sort of clue that does make you smile when you get it. There's no doubt about that. Where are I? 13. Let's have a look at 13. Mouldering grub. I keep on coming back to food for this in my mind. Like I really can't get past it. I'm wondering whether, mouldering means not to turn to mould or to rot, perhaps. Or rot in, I should say. I don't think mouldering can mean straight out rot. It's turn to dust. It's got to be. It's got to be present tense verb. What do you reckon rot works? Well, what would the grub be? What would the food be? What would be? To waste away gradually. In mouldering, is it a verb or is it an adjective? It's got to be a verb, present tense rout. So rout, does rout mean to grub? Well, it grubs to eat, to feed, to dig, to work, to search. Food, insect larvae. Second definition. To toil, to slog. Or to dig up the surface of. Oh, second definition of rout, sorry. Rout too, obviously. To grub up. Oh, right, also. And rat definitely goes with grub. Rot is related to the word mouldering, but I suppose it has a sense as a noun, doesn't it? As in decay or putrefaction. And I suppose mouldering perhaps might have a sense of as a noun. Slowly decaying, it's given by ODE as an adjective. I'm not sure if we're dealing with the same part of speech in that, but it's clearly going to be rout without a U. Grub's obviously deliberately chosen as the other part of the double definition, so it does fit with twit. Sort of stuck in my mind on mouldering, but certainly right. Thanks for that, Darren. 14 down. We had a look at it before. We think it's twit. We don't know why. I don't think we need to come back to that just yet. We had a look at 37 across. We have dopes back in home office, stamps. Back in home, could we be looking at NID something S for that, as in reversed? Wondering if home office can be abbreviated to HO as well. Don't think it is. Stamps. But stamps can be dies, can't they? DIES. Back in home office. I really like the definition as dopes. Could be netties. Home office could be a den, perhaps. So put that back. Yeah, domestic property, domestic room. And I think a netty is a word for an idiot. A donkey or a fool. There we go. The answer is netties. And that must mean that we lose the E. I'm quite pleased with that. NDIS. Netties. 27 down. We have a little bit more data now. We have RS ends in IN. We're looking for an 8-letter word, 2 words. We've only got a 6-letter grid entry, so that must mean we've lost 2 of the same letter. Educated about climbing. Oh, wait a second. With netties, that's another one of those clues where it's a normal clue. All of the wordplay is clued by the clue. So all of the answer is clued by the wordplay, I should say. Educated about climbing eyes recreational vehicle. About climbing. I mean, that could be RE reversed, as in ER. Eyes recreational vehicle. We could also be looking at something for eyes and RV for recreational vehicle climbing, which will give us a VR. Eyes can be NIDs, can't they? Oh no, that's a pheasant's nest. Wait a second, an eye has a second meaning, I think. Yeah, brood, especially of pheasants, obsolete. Another example of an obsolete word being clued or indicated, but not actually being. Clued or used in the wordplay, but not actually being indicated within the clue. So that gives us VRS. DIN, which is the reverse of NIDS RV. Not the sort of clue that you can probably cold soul, that's sort of really is helped by having those crossing entries. What would our 2 extra words be? Maybe versed in. VER SED, new word in. Beautiful. Very pleased with that as well. I think you sort of get on a roll with various sentences. Like I spent about an hour so far having a look at today's listener by Tix, and I think I've cold solved maybe 5 clues, but I haven't got a single entry in the grid yet, and really struggling to work out where to go with a lot of it. But this puzzle is very gracefully giving up its secrets, I think, which is nice. Let's have a look at. I've got a bit more there for 34 across. Became sour, and consistent with becoming sour, we do have a word that ends in ED. We're looking for a 9-letter word. We're missing 3 instances of a particular letter. It's not going to be E, interestingly. Became sour about controlled drug eaten. I was thinking became sour about could be the definition, but I mean maybe we're looking for a word meaning became sour, which is also past tense verb, I suppose. Around controlled drug, but I mean, is CD an abbreviation for controlled drug? It is. CD is an abbreviation for controlled drug, and we do have a C there, so let's work on the basis that we're looking at the wordplay is going to give us CD something. And what we're looking for is something meaning became sour around CD, and that is consistent enough with the wordplay that we have there. Became sour. Of course, the became sour is going to be something ED. What could that be? I mean, if it works like that, that would mean that the definition is going to be eaten. Well, the wordplay could also be a bit yoderish. It could be about controlled drug. So around controlled drug is a word meaning eaten. Just trying to think of what are some words that could mean sour in the sense of a verb. Spoiled? No. Or eaten even. Fed? Feed? It is ate, of course, but I don't know. So Dimitri says also, which letter could be missing 3 times? Well, it could surely only be, if we are looking at CD and ED in there already, it could surely only be an I or an O. I would have thought. Maybe an A. Well, we could potentially have, just looking at this, we could potentially have 2 consonants here, like a T or an L. Maybe a consonant there. So perhaps it could be a consonant. 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 I like acid too. So if it was that, but if it was acid something, I mean it could be acidified. Well, actually there are our 5. It is acidified. Check this out. It's absolutely an I. About gives the A. About gives the A. Controlled drug is CD, and eaten is fed, which completes the wordplay of the clue. And of course, we can put 3 instances of I in there to get acidified. Great spot, Dimitri. I was listening to your roundup of 2025's best listeners on the way to work the other day. I think you were telling the story about how you were robbed of the Best Newcomer Award. I felt very sorry for you for that. 26 down. We're missing the H in King Chiefs. When I say robbed, of course, I mean robbed by a clerical error. 28 down, we have an A for the central letter now, and 19 down, we have. Still haven't worked out whether we're dealing with UN. I think it probably is N though. And we do actually have a bit more here. Okay, this is interesting. This might be. So what we're thinking is, here we go, 28. Arid is barren. Well, I suppose almost barren would then be ARI. Which would make sense. Long involved trip finding South Africa. Almost bad. Could it be like a safari or something? Then we're missing the F. I mean, safari's a long involved trip, isn't it? Dimitri says, the real winners were nearly robbed by me. I just couldn't force myself to wait another year before submitting the solutions. I got the jug, I think, for it was either the 2020 or 2021. It was a complete surprise to me. I didn't realise that they were giving out awards, but I think I only started solving, I think, in April of whatever year I started solving, but I must have submitted enough to win the award, which it was quite a lovely thing. Here we go. Safari is a long expedition, so we are looking at safari here. It was a very nice sort of thing to win, and I think as a consequence, I was able to come along by Zoom to the dinner and got to sort of electronically meet and be put in contact with a whole bunch of people. I think including you, Darren. It must have been 2020 then. Because, maybe. See, let's check this. I'm going to look it up. The Listener Crossword. Alright, just looking at the awards. No, it's 2020. So I think the ones you robbed were a joint pair of setters. If you were in 2021, Royal and Butler. I mean, if they could give it to two people, surely they could have given it to three. But, I didn't actually get to see the cup because of course I'm in the Antipodes. But John Lewis, who had it before it, I think he managed to hold on to it for an extra year and had both their names engraved on it before he passed it on. Where are you up to?
They're going to watch the sunset.
Oh, that's nice.
Sunglasses on.
You got sunglasses too?
Oh, did you see that?
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. You driving or riding? Cool. So yeah.
Oh, good.
Where are we? So we put in Safari. We probably have enough there for 30 across now. The one thing I really liked about your video the other day, Dimitri, talking about listeners, was I think some of the things that you were saying about how unique the community of listener solvers and setters is. I think it's certainly a very welcoming community. I'd love to come along to one of those dinners and listen to some of those speeches one day, but haven't been able to make it so far. 30 across. Hand something A. American leverage drives one Arab to go after sign of available water.
Oh, good.
Wales or Cambridge? I've never been to either of them, so. An Arab can be given by AR, so I wonder whether this is one of our normal clues, and we're looking for hand something AR. I mean, hand bar, no, hand car. Your hand car's a US word for railway car, motorised or propelled by hand pumping a lever. So I mean, this is obviously going to be hand car. I mean, it's oddly clued by American leverage, but drives one Arab to go after sign of available water. We have, I mean, we can explain the AR here from Arab. Oh, American leverage drives one. That's going to be, that makes sense as the definition. Arab, AR, to go after a sign of available water. We've got H, is H and C, is in H ampersand C? HNC, hot and cold. So, that is clever. So, sign of available water is H and C. I've never seen that before, but we have there a normal clue in the sense that it fully includes all of the wordplay elements, but the entry misses the R. Alright, I'll be back.
Hello.
Maybe I can make my way to the next one, but I was thinking, I've just started submitting puzzles again last week. It would be nice to win the Silver Salver. I don't understand why it's not called the Silver Solver Salver. I suppose if it was called the Silver Solver Salver, it would be given to the person who solved the second. It has the second longest streak rather than the longest streak. Anyway, just coming back to 19, I think we wanted to start looking at that before. So, what we know from this is we think it's an anagram of I dine around a word meaning quick bite, but we thought the N may contribute to the second letter being N. But I see we do actually have an N there in the second last position now that we've got Neddies at 37 across. So it might be that we're not actually looking for... We can't necessarily be sure that the second position is going to be an N. I mean, quick bite can be a nip, can't it? Just... Is that what it would become? What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If quick bite was a nip, then this is what the wordplay would have to be. I-N-I-P-I-D-N-E. I don't out grabbing quick bite or having none. But I can't work out what that would be. But we're missing 3 entire letters. So 3 instances of the same letter. And maybe it's not nip. S. We're missing an S. Did I have the right idea, do we think, with the... So Shark says we're missing an S. I mean, in can be... Okay. Insipidness? Insipidness. Oh, right, so... Somebody who doesn't have any bite could be described as insipid, and the quality of not having any bite could be said to be insipidness. Take that. Thanks, Shark. Just want to make sure that's updating. It is. And that means that the letter missing from 22 across, which was one of our other normal clues, is a U from Punster. We're making very good progress on this. So Shark says it's trawled through chambers and now has 14 down. One sec. And are you saying it's not twit? It is twit, okay. So what would the extra letter be? I mean, an obvious one is twist, but... Twicked? That's not everyone's puff. Yeah, if it's not twist, I don't know what it is. Right, this solve is a group effort, so I'd be very pleased if you'd let us know Trawling through chambers has gotten you. Twilt. Twilt. Dialect form of quilt. I suppose puff is another name for patchwork or a quilt, is it? A quilted bed cover is a puff. I sort of have a thing against double definition clues. I think I don't. I think they're perhaps overused. I think the issue with a lot of double definition clues is that if one of the senses of the word as defined is not obvious, then you're not really looking at anything except anything different to what you'd otherwise see in a normal, straight, quick crossword or concise crossword. Because the clue isn't telling you another means to derive the answer in a sense that's actually helpful, unless you do have a good dictionary knowledge. And I don't know, but it's just I'm not a fan of them. I think maybe because I don't actually have the best dictionary knowledge. And when I'm solving crosswords regularly to get through them quickly, I do rely heavily on chambers. That means that we do have, well, we've got this entire quadrant of the grid here, which is pretty good. We only really have the north-western quadrant to go. And 4 down looks tempting, but it might not actually be the sort of thing that's going to get us into that section of the grid, although it would be nice if we could. So we have something E, it's either going to be P or an E for the third letter, DE something. Set forth cross in extreme pressure before leaving zombies. I think we worked out that extreme pressure does appear in chambers as abbreviated as EP, and that may suggest that we are dealing with a P in the third position. So let's see what that looks like if we have a P in the third position. Set forth. It's not often you see zombies, is it? Before leaving zombies, so yeah, A out of... I mean, zombies aren't dead, they're undead, aren't they? If the zombies were undead, then A leaving zombies, so before, of course, is abbreviated as A from ante. We'll get that. It would work with the past tense definition. So then we have EP here perhaps, and it's got to be expounded, doesn't it? So cross is X. That's inside EP. And unclude is O. Beautiful. I wasn't hopeful of that. But that means that for 12 across, the unclude letter is E. Thank you for that, Shark. Inspect is unclude from 12 across. It does make 1 across look rather interesting. I do like zombies for undead. I actually sort of went through a stage where I was really into zombies for a while. I thought as a concept, the idea of zombie movies as a genre, I didn't really get too much into the movies, but I really liked that. I liked a few of the movies. The 28 Days, 28 Years, or whatever it was series. That was pretty cool. It sort of like neatly captures this idea of, well, I think it's like the horror character which poses the greatest existential threat to the continuation of civilization in a fictional sense. Historically a mayor. Something like that. I like reeve. What is that? So a reeve is a magistrate or a steward. Rector intervenes in grievance. Is there something reeve maybe? But a reeve itself is not historically a mayor. Could a grievance be a peeve? And then we're looking at something. Yeah, peeve is described as a grievance. I like peeve in that sense. So peeve with R. And so it's potentially given us. But what would give us or? What gives us the first 3 letters of the wordplay? If we are looking at peeve. Oh, sorry, only the first 2 letters of the wordplay. I mean, could it be all peeve and we've got another letter there? That would... Put the P at the front. Okay. So that would put in O-R and R for rector inside reeve. Is there a port reeve? Is that a word? Yeah, port reeve, it's popping up. Port reeve is a historical word for a mayor. Okay, go with that. Nice. 1 across. P-O... yeah, I don't think anyone can be criticised for tying into a dictionary trying to solve these things. And I wonder, if there is actually anyone who can solve an advanced cryptic without diving into a dictionary. I mean, it'd be an impressive feat. There's no doubt about that. Let's have a look at 3. Isn't T the missing word from that? Aren't we looking at Port Reeve as the clue, and the T is uncluded by the answer? Hi, Judaretta. You're from Melbourne, aren't you? Because if you are, in 3 down, we're looking for Antipodean sailors avoiding zone. It's got to be Antipodean sailors has to be the Royal New Zealand Navy, I think. I'm not sure what. I'm not sure what they'd be called. I'll look it up. New Zealand Navy. Yeah, the reason I didn't put a T into one across is because every entry in this puzzle is missing a particular letter. So it's the Royal Navy, Royal New Zealand Navy, so that would be RNZN. Yep, and that's given us the Royal New Zealand Navy. We lose zone, avoiding zone. We're looking for a word that means fled by Spencer. 3 down, we only have 3 entries, which means that we're looking for two letters, 2 of the same letter, which can be left out of this. But I'm comfortable enough that we are looking at RNN as the entry. Rene is fled by Spencer, apparently. Thanks, Dimitri. Spencerian word to run. Beautiful. I think Spencer might be a bit overrepresented in Chambers. I mean, I haven't got anything against him, but I don't know whether he's as culturally significant as Chambers would have him be. No, so it wouldn't be RAN. Because we can't remove a zone, we can't remove a Z from RAN. 10 across, CNX in the odd positions. Missing one instance of a particular letter. Never re-entering. I think it's probably going to be a geometrical sort of word, like maybe a better line. In fact, the word used to describe a line. Never re-entering 101 times. But we did think that times could be this, and we did think 101 could be that. And could this be Sirex, something like re entering that, or no, it can't be. Convex. I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it? So, convex means having no interior angle. And can that be clued by never re-entering? So 100 is C, and 1 times because it connects. So it has to be convex. We're missing the V. I'm not quite sure. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it's properly defined. I don't get the definition either, Dimitri, but it's obviously going to be the answer because it is given by the wordplay. Which means that we have something interesting going on here with 2 down. Where are we? I think it's going to be a word meaning caper, but we have 3 vowels to start it off, and we know we are missing 3 instances of a particular word. It's 2 words long. Caper mounted amongst dramatists, sexy dancers. Got to be go-go girls, doesn't it, can't it? They're sexy dancers. So we've got 3 instances of G. Yeah, go-go girls. But is this one of those clues where we do need to work out how the wordplay works, because if we don't work out the wordplay, then we won't know if it's a normal clue or an abnormal clue. So the definition is going to be sexy dancers. Caper can be rig, I think. Mounted, so going backwards or up. Among dramatists, and I think Gogol is a Russian playwright, isn't he? Yeah, Russian novelist and playwright. There we go. Hi, Crosswords, how are you? And by Ek, I assume that's Ed, who's crossword we solved before. This is very exciting. We've only got 1 clue left to solve. 15 across. So where is 15 across? There we go. We have all but one of the letters. O-R something E-U-L, and we're missing a single instance of 2 letters. Compelling aspect of traversed blue cross. It's got to be forceful, doesn't it? I mean, because we can put an F at the start and an F halfway through. So, I mean, F could be the letter that's missing. Should make this an L. I mean, forceful is a word that means compelling. Sense of minus the F. But how do we work out the wordplay? Aspect of traversed blue cross. Shark says it's a reverse hidden clue. Of course it is. Of course. It would have been nice to get that the first time around, but alas, we have it now. And I think, I'm not sure how long the first part of the solve was. But I think we've been able to get that initial grid fill rather quickly. So just going back up to here, there are 12 normal clues whose first letters in the presented order form a ring in the grid. Oh, it's the clues whose first letters. So we're not looking at the answers, we're looking at the clues in the presented order. So we have been keeping track of these as we go. So 8, cultivation. This does explain somewhat why clues are presented in the order that they are, perhaps. 30 is next from rotation 2. American is the first letter. A. 22 gives Taylor. T. 32 gives I as the first letter. 6 gives N as the first letter. Kimchi's is G. Position is O. Nettie's is dopes. Inspect is dopes. And not a few is E. So that gives 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fuck, what, somehow have we missed out? Have we not? We're going to have to go through 12 normal clues whose first letters in presented order form a ring in the grid. We could go through all the clues again, or we can try and make a ring out of those 10, and that will give us what the other ones are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We must have forgotten to keep track of 2 of them as we were going. That's all right. Okay, so we're looking to make a ring in the grid formed by those letters plus 2 more. It represents a dial and safe. Here we go. G-O-D-D-E N-I-T That would suggest, if we're looking for a ring, it would suggest this sort of thing. That's 12 letters, and there's a ring. Which would mean that we have C-A, and going backwards, E-D-D-O-G-N-I-T. So between the C and the A, we're missing 2 of the clues. 2 of them, sorry. So C, A, so T. So we're looking for clues here. So C and I. Caper mounted. Oh no, we had a look at that. We should have marked that as purple because this clue completely indicated the wordplay. So it was caper rig up inside Googles or Googles. I, invading Scottish king, died on this, Floating Hill. Date wearing fine woolen coat. So woolen coat's Loden and fine gives F. So, yep. Okay. So that's our rings. I like that. Oh, whoops, Isaac. Just going to keep track of that in case it's important later. C-A-C-I-T-I-N-G-O-D-D-E 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, I think this is where we're about to see something interesting happen because, okay, so I've worked out these letters represent the dial of a safe from which solvers must carry out a robbery. in the remaining clues, the wordplay gives... Oh no, we've done that. The letters removed from answers spell out rotations to be applied to the dial after the grid is initially filled. Each successive rotation reveals part of an instruction, 7 words in total of lengths 7, 6, 2, 8, 4, 5, 7. But we only have 5 rotations. Okay. Final rotation reveals a price. Right, so let's have a look at this one. So the letters removed from answers spell out rotations to be applied to the dial after the grid is initially filled. Oh, here we go. Let's try to work out. So rotation 1 is left 6. So what we're going to do, as we get these out, I'll just continually move these down to the bottom. Rotation 2, right 4. If we were paying attention to these earlier, we probably would have been very useful little thing to have spotted, because it would have made the identification, I think, of some of the extra letters a bit easier if all we were looking for was a direction and a number. Rotation 3 equals left 5. I get a bit excited by this one. It's got, I think, the advantage of being an end game which is, well, I think so far I want to put 2 there, but maybe we're looking for route is the same as route in that sense. Okay, so we are looking at a W. There's absolutely no ambiguity about what we're meant to be doing here, which isn't the case for all end games. Rotation 5 is left 11. And I'll put that back down the bottom. Beautiful. Right, so each successive rotation reveals part of an instruction. So that's successive rotations, 7 words in total of lengths. Alright, so the first rotation is left 6, so I take that as left indicates we need to go anti-clockwise and right indicates that we need to rotate the dial clockwise. Just trying to work out what the best way to do this is going to be. We have Cassitin Ode, or Ottocassidin. I think if I remember that C starts here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this page. Just want to make sure, is that keeping up? Okay, so I've got a duplicate of that page. So I'm just going to make a little yellow indication here that that's where the word starts. I'm going to go around and just, I think the easiest way for me to rotate Actually, I might not have to. I might be actually able to. I think I can use this tool to actually properly rotate all those entries. So, right, so what are we doing first? The first one is left 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the C is going to end up where the N is. And it's going to be backwards. Is that where the N is? It's next to the S. Okay. It's going to be backwards, but... Right, so that is meant to reveal 7 words successively reveal 7 words in total of lengths 7, 6, 2, 8, 4, 5 and 7. What have I done there? So I'm pasting something. There we go. So, what does this reveal? It's a little bit difficult to see what it is when half of the entries are actually upside down. Let me try and fix that up. This becomes T. This is C and A. This is C and E. This is D and D. There we go, G. Okay. We're looking for at least a 7-letter word, I think. Each successive rotation reveals part of an instruction. Here we go. Look at this. We have I'm going to just put this in a new layer here. We have replace. That's 7 letters. So just wonder if that's all that's revealed here. So we only have 5 rotations. We need to reveal 7, but I mean that's certainly, that has to be the first instruction. Has to be. It's very clever. Alright, so let's take that as the first instruction. And then we need to go right 4. So I'll highlight all these again. Right is, oh, what's happened there? I know what's happened. I was looking at the wrong layer. Alright, so right 4 would mean, is it 1, 2, 3, 4? Okay, so well, that's going to be a bit trickier. Going to need to undo some of these. So it's going to be C. Then it's going to be A. This is C. This is I. No, it's not. There's an E. This is D. I think this is a D. G-O. I-T-I-N, reading counterclockwise. I-T-I-N. Okay, so what do we have here? We're looking for something of length 6 or potentially 6 and 2. What we saw before is that place came down one of the diagonals. Place. Can't say it. Well, for a 6-letter word, it's going to have to use letters in the dial. Has to. We have an ing here, but I don't think that doesn't give us anything. We've got expunged. We've got expunged there, but Shark says everyone is screaming at their computers. Well, if you're screaming at your computers, how about you just... Oh, I've got it. We have expunged there, so I think that's going to come back. Well, if you're screaming at your computer, how about you scream it into your keyboard and tell me what it is? String. Replace string. Oh, and it's not just replace string. This is where we get the extra 2. It's going to be... Where are we? Replace string of. Replace string of. Okay, so we've done 2 rotations. Now we need to go rotate left 5. So turn off that layer, come back to this layer, and pick up our. Oh. Pick up our safe dial again. What's going on? Sorry. We're back on the screen. Hopefully it's not frozen. It's just taking a little while to catch up to me here. Alright, I'm going to start highlighting the top. It is a group effort. I don't mind if anyone wants to jump in and steal my thunder here. I really don't. partially for the reason that dinner's in the oven and it's probably about to be served, and I want to get this done in one go without having to explain why I can't take part in dinner. So I don't think I've properly selected those letters. I mean, I haven't even got to the end of it yet, and I think it has to be one of the most clever end games I've come across ever. So now you go left 5, so that would take this end down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The end down to the E below it. And it's going to be a situation where I need to write it in, but I'm going to do it this way. N, G, O, D, D, E, C, A, C, I, T, I, N. Alright, let's give us a new layer and try and find the next word here. What we're looking for is a word of 8 letters. The last ones went through diagonals. We've used the replaced diagonal. We've used a string diagonal. So what have we got now? If anyone's screaming at the keyboard again, do let me know. Horizontal, alright. Handiamo? Handiamo? No. Switch. Lich and pester, I see. What, we're looking for 8 letters? No. Could it be backwards horizontally? Replace diamonds. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Replace string of diamonds. This is a very special puzzle. Alright, so we need to do a rotation right 2, so we're going clockwise 2, which would... I'm just going to erase everything and start the G here, in that cell between the D and the AM. I think that's probably faster than doing that rotating thing. So G starts here. I think I've got this the right way around. What we're looking for here is 4 and potentially 5, probably 4, potentially 5. Replace string of diamonds. It's got to be with something. With. Where do we find the width? With paste. There we go, that gives us a 4 and a 5. Wait a second, where are we? This really is incredible. And then we need to go left by 11. So if we are going left by 11, where will this C start? Go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's really actually the same as rotating right by 1. So the start of the C of this string is going to go between P and AR. So as long as I remember that, I should be able to... I'm just going to start on the last cell that I erase. There we go. C, C, I, T, I, N, G, O, D, D, E. Alright. I've reached the limit of my layers, but that's okay because this is going to be the last one. I'm looking for 7 letters. Replace string of diamonds with paste. So we didn't actually use expunged, did we? With paste. If anyone sees it, feel free to chime in. No, it's got to be paste replica. So it uses the same. Yeah, same string as what we had before in the first slot. Okay, so paste replica. So I need to cancel out that. Oh, this is clever. Replace string of diamonds with paste replica. The final rotation also reveals the prize, whereupon solvers must follow the instruction. Okay, so where's our string of diamonds? Where is our string of diamonds? However, once this is done from the right point, vital evidence of the crime, 12 letters, can be detected and must be highlighted. Now, a string of diamonds, what do you call a diamond necklace? Like a tennis bracelet or something?
Necessity?
String of, what, sorry? A necessity. Right. Is that it? We've got a string of diamonds here. Oh, I see our string of diamonds. D, 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 D. D, 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 D. D? We have a D here. Is that our string of diamonds? It is 12 characters long. Once this is done from the right point, vital evidence of the crime can be detected and must be highlighted. I'm just a little bit concerned because we have a diamond there as well, but that hasn't made its way into the string. That's the only other diamond that we have. So anyway, so replace string of diamonds with paste replica. What would a paste replica be? This is very clever. However, once this is done, letters of paste replica are all 12 letters long. We do have a 12-letter string of diamonds. So I think the puzzle literally requires us to replace our diamonds with the letters of paste replica. That's obviously not a diamond which is related to it. Says the screen share's lost connection. Let me make sure we reconnect this. Sorry, 1 second. We wouldn't want to lose connection right at the right at the very moment when the genius of this puzzle is. Well, I think it's already. You have to accept already that what we've seen so far is genius. And the rotation to rotation 5 times to deliver a message is incredible. I'm going to put our paste replica in red. And I assume the part of the preamble where it says from the right point means the paste replica can only go one way or the other, but the correct way will result in vital evidence of the crime being detected, which must be through the paste replica, or the letters of the paste replica. I've just noticed that the grid is in fact 12 digits across. So 12 cells across. And if we do it the other way around, I think we might actually end up with something. So, a finger. Here it is. Fingerprints. Is it? I think my screen stopped sharing just as I revealed just as I showed the solution. Which is a mighty letdown. The question is that going to catch up, or have I just solved the puzzle without you guys actually being able to see it? There we go. Came a bit late, but a paste replica, and of course highlighted there we have fingerprints, which is vital evidence of the crime. Although I would have thought if you went to that much trouble to crack into a safe, to solve this crossword, to crack into the safe, to steal a string of diamonds, surely you would wear gloves and not leave fingerprints. That is an incredible puzzle. Blown away by the creativity there. I mean, we've solved, I think, 5 of the... In this series, we've done 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005. 5 winners of the Ascot Gold Cup, and that's certainly my favourite one so far. Such a neat little puzzle. Thank you everyone for watching along and solving that with me. I might come back later tonight after dinner to try and have a crack at the next one in the list, which, let me just get it up. Old Treasure Hunt by Merlin, which won the Ascot Gold Cup in 2006. X says, this was the first great puzzle I solved, probably got me hooked on a listener. I think anyone who's been hooked on a listener can probably remember the first great puzzle they solved, but it really is one of those magical feelings. I imagine this is a sort of puzzle that would have got a lot of people properly hooked on the series, but it's just this wonderful aha moment which you don't quite get with any other type of puzzle. Except maybe for, with the exception of another puzzle which I think some of us solved, I think it was 2 years ago now, which was, what was it called? It was by John Finnemore. I don't want to give it away, the answer, but the researcher's first murder, which was a fantastic literary puzzle and a sequel to Cain's Jawbone. I think that might be the greatest puzzle I've ever come across, but certainly not the sort of thing that you can do on a idle Sunday afternoon like the Listener. Alright, so the next one we'll solve will be Old Treasure Hunt. This one was Safe Cracking by Kia. And I think we might actually have a few more puzzles by Kia in the series, because I think she has won the Ascot Gold Cup, or he, I should say, has won the Ascot Gold Cup a couple of times in, I think, 2008 and 2009 as well. So it's 3 times in total. So I'm looking forward to having a crack at those. Thank you to everyone who joined in. I'll leave you to it, and I'll probably come back after dinner and have another crack at the next one. See you later.